My name's Cayman on Sirius XM Heart and Soul, the VIP room at R&B from today and back in the day. So I was telling you, there was a man that was on TikTok that was talking about when you buy a bottle of water, different colors on the bottle caps mean something. So if you buy a bottle that has a white cap on it, that's processed water. Anything that has blue or green is naturally occurring mineral water. How about that? Who knew?
How about that? So the second coming of Jesus, what is that supposed to look like? What does it look like? What is it? How about the first coming? Well, the first coming, you've seen what happened. I just don't think that these accidents are accidents, considering it always just seems to happen when I'm driving home, almost like it's on purpose. I just always have that assumption that everything's done on purpose by the Gang Stalking Corporation, and I usually just assume that it's Satan doing it. But I guess I have to consider too, is God also doing it? Because sometimes he doesn't like, or sometimes it's like, I need to sharpen up my children they need to get their together. They need to get their shit together. And then, so they need to be a little bit more patient. Well, I know what it feels like sitting in jail for doing something that I did wrong. I still feel like at some point I'm gonna know what it feels like to sit in jail for doing something that I did not do wrong. But that would only mean that the only way that happens is the second 9/11 in Philadelphia. That's the only way. To have a prediction so deadly accurate, it's not like the masters of the universe don't already know. Like, it's not like Jonathan Kleck didn't already know what I was predicting, because he was showing me what's going to happen. Because he did say that the Twin Towers were bombed on 9/11. And I think that was the first coming, as if it was like the fifth seal, because, or not, meaning like one of the interpretations would drift off to where I think when Jonathan Kleck appeared, or he appeared in 2011, so that was 10 years after 9/11. I don't even know was there any social media back then just yet? Because maybe that's like behind the scenes, it would be considered Jesus. Maybe he predicted it to his people from the inside that didn't know that he was the one that that knew about it, because he knew a lot about it after the fact. He broke it down with the bombings. Well, here's how it is. This is why I tied Jonathan Kleck to the first 9/11 and the second one. The first time is it's the explosions. It happens. It's the Twin Towers, the buildings, and then in 2011, here comes Jesus explaining the bombings that were printed on the U.S. currency, because Harold Camping was announcing that Jesus Christ was coming back in 2011, May 21st, 2011. But he never said he was a specific person. He was teaching that the Spirit of Christ is coming, but first the world is like, you get raptured, then the destruction takes place, and we get caught up into heaven in the cloud. And so I didn't really have much spiritual understanding. I was just learning from what he was teaching, and it made sense. I just didn't know how we would leave our bodies. Do our bodies just drop dead and our spirits go to heaven? It's the same way it happens as soon as you die. There goes that water again. I can't explain it. I can't explain it. It's just this bridge. Is there some kind of scientist that can explain why rain happens at this bridge all the time and there's not even water under it? So where does your spirit go when your body dies? Your energy, so it gets transferred to the next realm instantly. I mean, I thought at one point they take your brain out of your head and they implant it to another one and into your clone body, and then, or they just take your chip out of your head. It's like your pineal gland. So they just take the little portion out, put it back in through your hairline or something. They peel your hairline off, cut your head open, and then put it back. If they did it in a literal sense, like the skull and bones that die, live again, get reskinned because their outer garment is sewed up, and Christ, his outer garment had no seam. So it seems like the skull and bone gets sewed up into a new body. They're using their same skull and bones to continue on down here on earth. And that could possibly be the trick that Satan, that the Reaper gets when your body dies and then you meet him. You're in the morgue or whatever, or you're plugged into the computer to meet Satan face to face, and then he tells you what your option is. And your one option isn't heaven because it doesn't exist. Because maybe that's what he told you. And you could be a child of God and you could be like, well, I just want to go back to earth. Like, all right, well, you have to put in this earpiece, listen to me all day long, tell you what to do. And by the way, you're going to turn yourself into a female, all right? I don't care. I just want to go back to earth. I love the world and everything in it. But if you wait 3 days, then you get to go to heaven. And you don't have to go back into your old bones and skull because you're plugged into your new body. Your spirit transfers over. I mean, it's just a thought. I don't have any evidence whatsoever that it's possible. But this bridge here was done when it blew up. We're coming up to it coming up right around it. This is where the serpent's head was crushed. Buckling and Company. See that? The sign? Right there? Buckling and Company. Here it is, right here. Buckle Up Company. And that happened on Jacob Israel's birthday, 6/11, by the way. So 3 months later, 9/11. I'm drifting off. Heaven, the dying, yeah. All right. So second 9/11. Second 9/11, in my opinion, let's say it happens on 9/11 this year, 2023. And the reason I would say that is because it would be 21 full years of being held up by, is it the Prince of Persia? It's basically Satan, the one that rules the world right now, being held up for 21, because you know how days are years in the Bible. A day is as 1,000 years, 1,000 years as one day, and don't be ignorant of this one thing, that one day is as a year in Bible prophecy. So 21 full days of being held up. Let's just say the Prince of Persia is Satan, and he came in first with the first 9/11 and then was able to break down how that 9/11 happened. Well, people would look at that person as Jesus Christ, who came back on earth. He could be holding up the true Christ spirit that entered into the YouTube platform, because that's to me, that's the island of Patmos. That's the YouTube temple. It's the temple guard, the police, the trolls, the agents, the Pharisees, the Sadducees. I feel like that would be considered, because YouTube, to me, obviously, it's the place to be. It's not Facebook. It's not Twitter or whatever social media platform there is. It's YouTube. And I felt like a lot of people tried to get me to drift off and go to another platform. Mainly Matthew Daly, because he told me stop watching YouTube. Get off of YouTube. Stop watching YouTube. Robin, it's not the most important platform in the history of existence. Okay? Nah, I think I'll stick with YouTube for some reason. I like it. Yep, and I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm not gonna do it every single day. But according to the time that I've been up, the 6+ years, if you times 6 times 3 is 18, so then plus the 65 times 6, 12, 18, 22, it's about 2,000 days at least, around 2,000 days. And so when you do the math, the last time I checked, I had 3,600 videos, but that was a couple months ago. And I also deleted, I probably deleted almost 1,000 videos. But then again, the private videos, I don't think they count for the amount of videos on your list. I'm not sure. I don't even remember why I put someone private. I just can't find the ones that are to unleash them again. But if you do the math, it's the average is 2 videos a day since the time I started YouTube on my own, out of nowhere, and nobody told me to do it. Thank God I didn't listen to you devils and scare me off of the YouTube platform. Yeah, sorrows come my way, of course. Right. Bowie dies younger than expected, younger than normal. All of a sudden, out of the blue, as soon as Jacob Israel starts talking about Bowie Merlin, he dies, just like that. It seemed very sus to me, but I can't prove anybody any foul play or any type of poisonous injection of something that isn't actual poison itself, but when you overload it with whatever, it becomes poison. And that reminds me of Steve Bannon talking about his father-in-law passing because he got the shot, and with the vaccine supposed to being something that's there to heal you, well, read between the lines. What's the vaccine? I think it's some type of serpent juice, but I could be wrong. But I'm probably right. It's probably some kind of oil, and it's really nothing other than just something to laugh at you with that you're injecting into your body. But nevertheless, for the sake of it being everything being a true story, his wife, Yana, which would be her father, and then Stephen James was mentioning the same thing about ever since his father got the shot in the arm. I mean, it's a little unusual that you said that the money you're coming into real quick is like a shot in the arm. But when he got the shot in the arm years back, you believe that that's what caused his death. And the death blow to Steve Ben-Nun, his father-in-law, is the same thing happening to both Steves, in a sense. So when you got Adam and Eve in the system, I don't think they're going to look like Adam, and I don't think Eve is going to look like Eve. I think Eve and Adam may be they may look different. They may have some mask on, and then the serpent beguiled them because maybe they thought he was the Jesus that came in when 9/11 happened the first time, the first coming, the second coming, the second 9/11. Christ will come in the clouds, in the heaven, and then he will stand on Mount Olives because there's a specific footprint that's waiting, a specific foot that's waiting to step and split from whether it's north and south or east and west, standing. I believe that's why the rocky footsteps are there on the Mount Carmel, Mount Olives, Mount whatever, the highest portion of a mountaintop in Philadelphia Center City, the landscape that finishes off Big Benjamin Franklin Parkway with Beersheba right behind it. And considering the 7 times that I prayed, because a prayer is nothing other than making a recording and showing stuff and talking about things and getting answers from God. So I showed 7 videos in the art museum on 3/23/2023, my wife's birthday. And what irritates me about that day is the fact that it's my wife's birthday and she didn't get her gift. She didn't get it because she doesn't, as far as I know, she doesn't comprehend it. Yeah, she sees the similarities that are all throughout 17 minutes of one video, 5 minutes of the next, 7 total prayers on that top of that mountain inside of the art museum, where it's like Lucifer is setting the stage for the worship, for the music to worship God. Because that was
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
No problem. I wish I could give you more. But right now Satan has a hold of all the money on earth and I can't, so because she didn't open up her gift on her birthday, and she can't see me. The only ones that can see me are the ones that are from Planet X, truly. And maybe you can see something that I'm showing you, because it is so similar and unusual. But how do you explain it? Can you? All I can explain is there's an app, and it's called X recorder, and it's the X Factor, and it's Planet X. And there's a bunch of moons. There's like 5 moons surrounding it. I think there was like 7 altogether. When I show moons, I don't really truly even know what a moon represents, but except for a reflection of the light. So if there's 7 moons, they could all reflect the light, and the light would be Jesus Christ. That spirit would be the sun. And so there's a dark sun, there's a bright sun, and it's like an evil sun and a good sun, and this reminds me of a Cain and Abel situation. And with 5 moons surrounding that Planet X, like Paul Begley was saying, it would be, to me, it resembles 5 different YouTube channels, and all those YouTube channels are surrounding the same Planet X, Planet 9. There's 9 different, maybe there's 9 leaders of that planet, but nevertheless they're surrounding it, and it's an app that you can well, I don't know if everybody can do it. I don't know if you tried it, but when I do it, every single time I did it so far, I didn't waste my time. Every time I did it, something, whatever I was showing you, whether it's through the YouTube videos, whether it was through Paul Begley the other day, whether it's through Jonathan Kleck going to Black Rock, sitting there showing the Black Rocks at that one moment, or going to the same exact spot with Steve Benoni, showing me the tree branch above, and then he's showing me the next time around the Holy One of Israel right in front of the Israeli flag when that crater hit the ground there in front of the U2 sign. Not very much, not even a month after I went to the art museum with the X recorder, playing U2's Random Shuffle on the X recorder as I'm walking through live, showing you the art museum for the first time in my life, and everything lines up with the similarity, the shape, the shadow, the size, the color scheme, everything. That's what the X app is. It's something that I push the record button and show you what I'm looking at, and whoever I'm recording, whoever's speaking or whoever's singing, if it's the Scorpion video, or if it's U2's video, or if it's Dream On's video, or if it's Jacob Israel, or Steve Benoni, or Jonathan Kleck, or Paul Begley, they're gonna show me whether they're live. It doesn't matter. Jacob Israel showed me he can do it while his video is live, even though it's from like 1,000 years ago. But it seems live because I'm live, and then his video's live. I push the live recording X app and I walk around, and towards the end he shows me the hidden hand right at Black Rock. So it all seems to be pointing back to Black Rock, where the rocks are cut in half. At that little cafe there, that's at the beginning of the Benjamin Franklin Parkway, and then at the end, behind the art museum, is Beersheba. So the other one is nearer Sheba. So it doesn't matter if whoever it is live, pre-recorded from days ago, pre-recorded from a live video 54 minutes ago from Paul Begley the other day, or if it's a day ago, or if it's 30 years ago from YouTube, and the footage that lined up identical with the art museum footage, that I can show it over and over again, and I can keep showing it and show you and remind anybody that may have forgotten. I walked in the art museum for the first time in my life, and I played a Random Shuffle on the X app, and then I lined it up side by side. I blew it up, lined it up side by side to show you the identical references that U2 used my footage this year, 30 years ago, in their videos. 7 of them. So 7 of them reminds me of Elijah praying 7 times. It's just a similar thing that, you know, he went on top of a mountain called Carmel. And so Christ went on top of the same mountain, but it's called Mount Olives. And then when you stand there, there's a set of rocky footsteps that's overlooking Jerusalem, Israel, because Israel is all the way down at the very beginning of that landscape. Speaking of Israeli News Live, the dose makes the poison. Yeah, so it's things like that. Like if I was recording with the X app, Israeli News Live, Steve Ben Nunes, even though I just watched that video on but it popped up again, I guess on his other channel. I just said the word Israel and his Israeli News Live popped up on my screen. And that's just the way it is. So it doesn't matter. Live, pre-recorded 30 years ago, doesn't matter. It's just whatever I record with that X app is what whoever it is that I am inspired to show. For whatever reason, I feel like they're trying to show me something. I only stumbled upon it when I went in the art museum and I recorded it. The one thing that I seen when I was showing that picture of the woman with the eyes, and she had that mark under her eye like tears, and Bono was singing "Your Eyes Make a Circle." I hit it so perfectly. I even said to my wife, "Did you see that? You heard Bono singing," because I had it lightly playing. I didn't have the earphone in. "Your eyes," and I was showing the eyes. And she's like, "I know." And then I was done recording, and both of those recordings failed. I'm like, oh my God. I was so sickened. I'm like, whatever. So I just did another 30-minute video without the X app. And with the sickness in my stomach, that I just knew that I seen that spot and it was so perfect. I wanted to replay it over and over again. And then I got out and I pushed the repair button on the X app, X recorder. Not even thinking it's going to repair, because I had the other recorder and it didn't repair. The other screen sharing app, the junk one. I pushed it, it repaired it. I'm like, oh man, thank God. So God allowed it to fix itself, and then look at what I showed because of it. Man. John from Denver's like, when you gonna... I know you keep telling people that I'm the one that let you, that told you, but when are you gonna mention my name, Robin? Because I can sense thoughts even though you're not even here. And it's in the future that you're gonna watch this video. Who's John from Denver is more than just John from Denver. And so I always give him credit for answering my question. Gave me good advice on the right app, because you must have known something from the future. You must be able to know the future too, like the other people from Planet X. And then it ties into who is everybody and how many people are the same person under different bodysuit mask face mask. So it was repaired. I showed all of the miraculous. I've never thought. I thought like a miracle was more along the lines of standing by 17 JFK and then at 8:48 a.m. I'm waiting for the bomb to go off. Instead, the water sprouts up, or the water stands still at 8:48, the same day that Jonathan Clegg showed Barack Obama in the video. In the morning, before I even went to that spot, I was inspired to go there. So if I would have pushed the X recorder, that would have happened too. And but I thought that was a miracle, because Barack Obama the bomb did show up that same day in Philly. And but he showed up at the link and he thanked Robbins Hood, teased what our last name is and all that good stuff. But no, truly the main miraculous miracle is the 7 videos from YouTube that YouTube used my footage on March 23rd, 2023, 30 plus years ago in their videos. That's Planet X. That proves that our lives have been recorded, obviously. It proves that when I die, I'm absolutely going back to heaven, or at least I'm going back to where I belong. And it proves that when you die, you're just gonna you leave the flesh. You're done. Satan has first dibs on the flesh. And I just don't know how, I still can't understand how you can show me what I'm gonna see before I see it, as I'm watching your video for the first time, not even knowing what you're gonna show me. But yet where I'm walking with the X app, you're showing me what I'm gonna see. And that's the thing, that's what a miracle is. It's something you can't explain, but yet there it is. It happened. So there's that. So the second 9/11, it only makes sense that it would happen with every eye. How is every eye going to see Christ? How can you see Christ? Well, an event that's predicted, like the second 9/11 in Philadelphia, Twin Towers, Liberty 1, Liberty 2, just that alone, on 9/11 2023, it could start at 5:55 a.m. or it could start, it could start between the 6th and the 9th hour, darkness, or it can be 4 in 1 hour, 4 of them in 1 hour. It could start off at 17th and JFK because that's the spot that the water stopped. It stood still. It rose up out of nowhere. On 7/8/2020, when I went down there, thinking a bomb's going to go off because it's on the back of a $50 bill. That's how you can't pin that against me. When I'm being questioned for how did you know that the 3rd floor was going to get blown up at 17th JFK Chase Bank, starting the 9/11. How did you know that, Robin? So we're going to question you about that, and I'm going to show you. Do you have a $50 bill? Well, yeah. Here, could you can take the handcuffs off here, or just fold it in that direction. There, look at that, and then look. You'll see it's identical. That's how. How did you know that? Tell us who told you. Well, I don't know that Jonathan Kleck actually exists on this earth, per se, at this moment. I don't even know if you can even find him, but it's a channel that showed me that stuff, and that's how I know. But how did you know that the second 9/11 would happen in Philadelphia? Well, because the Bible says Philadelphia will have a little bit of strength, and to the angel of the church of Philadelphia, you're going to have a little bit of strength. But how did you know it was going to be Liberty 1 and Liberty 2? Well, because what happened over in New York with Tower 1 and Tower 2? What happened at 8:48 a.m. on Harold Camping's World, October 21st, 2020? The water stood still. What building is 848 feet tall? Liberty 2. Liberty, Liberty, Liberty. Why does it show an ostrich? Well, because that's part of the host body, head, neck, hidden pet. That's the serpent that crawls out of the holy place. I don't know. I mean, how did you know that? Jonathan Kleck taught me. How did you know William Penn Building was going to be destroyed? Because it's the 4th building, and I don't know, it's in the middle of the street. It kind of needs to get out of the way. It's kind of gang stalking Broad Street. Oh, and because the Bible says the path to destruction is wide and broad, like the street. So, I mean, that's how, if that happened, that's how I came up with all the 4 of the buildings. And 4 in 1 hour, that great city's destroyed, because apparently Philadelphia is that great Babylon city, the literal city, and then the Babylon has fallen, the towers. YouTube has fallen, the Satan's kingdom is divided, things like that. So that would prove that Christ returned on the second coming, which would be the second 9/11. It's because the Spirit of Christ is what reveals, the Holy Spirit reveals the secrets. And what does God do? Well, he doesn't do anything except for revealing secrets. So what better way to get people's attention to turn back to God and to stop the wars with a 21 day as a year, full years hold up of the false Christ to the real Christ, and then 21 days from that point, which would be another hold up, because I would be probably in jail for that 21 day period. And then I guess that's when, or maybe well, I don't know. I mean, it could be, or I'll just get questioned and I'm not in jail, and then when I get out, I'll go walk up to the, or maybe I'll go there today, go up to the art museum. I may make a day of it, 9/11, just because it's 21 full years. And if it doesn't happen on that day, well, then maybe it won't be the second 9/11, because it doesn't make sense for it to be 22 years. I mean, it could be 23 years, but that's a far way away. I feel like it's happening this year, because the floodgates have been opened, and I won't shut up. And it's 21 days of Daniel. It's 21 years being held up. And what other event would... It's not that every eye is going to see who predicted it, but every eye will see the event. Like, every eye in the world seen the first 9/11. Even babies, they seen it. They seen their dads or mom watching the TV. My kid wasn't even born yet. He knows all about the first 9/11. Well, not all about it. So he wasn't even born. He was in the womb of his mother, but he wasn't born yet. And that would be as growing up, his eye seen the first 9/11. The second 9/11, nobody's predicted it that I know of in Philadelphia. And even if it happened on 11/11 and I didn't predict it, and it happened anyway, Liberty 1 and Liberty 2, it still proves the Spirit of Christ is the revealer of secrets, and that Spirit will be seen, because at some point, you know how people win the you know how they win like the MVP, or you know how the football, who was it? I don't know, whoever it was, when the Eagles won the Super Bowl. Yeah, was it Nick Foles? Nick Foles, didn't he say, "I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ"? So that would be the first thing that I say when I'm being questioned as to how I knew. Well, first of all, I want to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, for revealing the secret, hidden information that I learned through the YouTube platform that I could not prove until now. Because at that time, look, it's not that I am trying to dream this up so I can get some recognition. It's the fact that this was something that was, there's like a smear campaign going on here on the windshield. this was something that was shown to me that is going to happen, and then I was just the one that picked up on the breadcrumbs, and it started with the Jonathan Kleck channel. So you can't even prove that either, because the Jonathan Kleck channel doesn't exist anymore, but Jonathan Kleck's channel exists. And I don't know what it is. I feel like you're trying to get me to go down to the cafe on Wednesday because it's the sun. It's when the sun is out. And I don't really feel like doing an XApp recording because I don't even know what am I going down there for. Am I going to play that same video you're talking about, starting at the William Penn Building? And then what are you going to show me? What am I going to see down there? I don't need to prove it anymore. I just dabbled into it the other day because Paul Begley, because as soon as he played the video, I'm like, let me give a shout out to Noble Gold, and then he said the same thing, but then he stopped and was like, no, I always say that, and then he went with a different advertisement, and I thought, if this was an XApp moment, I think you would be showing me something. And then I went around the corner and you're showing me the planet, the circle, and the image, the serpent, and all that. So, and then with your hand up to your face in that picture. So I don't feel like going today. I don't. So if it means anything to Jonathan Kleck, I guess I'll go down there Wednesday and see what's going on after work. So here's how I could stop wars. By predicting the second 9/11 in Philadelphia, dead on, to the exact 21 full years later. That way I can tie it into the Bible, because I'll be asked these questions, and well, how did you know 21 years? Because 21 days of Daniel, day is a year, year is a day. Don't be ignorant of one thing, officer. How come the other guy over there looks like he wants to kill me? Why are you so ecstatic about my prediction I got? Sure. How come your twin brother over there behind another mask wants to stab me in the neck? Because that's Jacob Israel. He doesn't like the fact that you predicted it. Robin, all right? Okay. So it's Jonathan Kleck and Jacob Israel are the two twin female evil angels of the bottomless pit type of king and queen. Is that what you're telling me, Jonathan Kleck? The female energy, and then Steve Benoon is like up above the planet, like from heaven, representing heaven from above. And then you got the two twin females, the angels of the bottomless pits. And then is Stephen James the king of the earth here on Earth, planet Earth, or is that Greg Laurie, or are you the same person? Or are you Christophilus? Are you really Christo-Luciferus, or are you Christ? Or which one? Christo-Luciferus? A mixture of both of you? It's so exhausting trying to figure out who everybody is. But or is Jacob Israel an alien from outer space and he's trying to take over the planet and as Jesus, but none are going to come to your help, like Stephen Nunn. Is Stephen Nunn's going to, because he's in charge? Oh, Noah's the one that made the ark, right? So isn't the ark the YouTube platform? Is that not the ark that was made 18 years ago? And then if so, is it a 21-year period since the YouTube platform was made? And that would, I hope not, because that would make it 2026. I gotta wait till 2026 to retire. That would put me at, so I'm 47 now. That would put, I mean, it would put me at 50 years old. And with the Jubilee, I mean, I just don't feel like waiting another 3 years. But nevertheless, I'll still be up on YouTube talking, spewing garbage every single day. Spewing my babble. Rabin's an idiot. He doesn't know anything. He's just babbles on in the tower. That's right. Inspired by liars. I was inspired by liars. That's how I started the YouTube platform. I was inspired by liars. What inspired you to start YouTube, Rob? Liars. Oh, really? Yeah, liars. Barack Obama, actually, he kept interrupting my sports games. And he wound up thanking me years later when when he showed up in Philly. And the Witter stood still at 8:48 a.m. on September 11th, 2011. So, that would be 12 years ago. 11 full years. And then, Walmart. Walmart's the video that got me 100% gang stalked even more than before. Because I spotted security guards, and everyone that I spotted, I was dead on correct, and they know, like Derek Bros knows. He even has partnerships with Walmart, but he would know, why, that car sure is riding the ass of that Ram, isn't he? So anticipating, like hurrying up to, it's not that, it's red. The nature of these sheep down here on Earth. Oh yeah. Who's the enemy of God's people? Well, Lucifer. The one that's accuses it day and night. So that reminds me of Stephen James Sean, but he could be acting like Lucifer. He could be Moses putting on a headdress, acting like he's Jonathan Kleck, the freaking Pharaoh. He could be doing that. And then Moses and Aaron representing, because Moses would be on earth, Aaron would be from heaven, Moses and Aaron together with me interpreting and then telling Pharaoh, hey, you need to let my people go because you're the enemy of God's people, but I represent God's word on earth because it's coming out of my mouth. And it devours my enemies, and I make fire come down for real through the art museum footage. But I feel like Satan has everything to do with it, and he could be he is. He's everybody's daddy in the flesh, but not in spirit. You're not my daddy in spirit. So, but then the roles could be flip-flop, juxtaposition there. Johnny could be acting like the Pharaoh, and he's really the Moses character, and James is the Pharaoh, and they're giving him seed and all that. But it seems like it's the other way around. He could be like the second in charge, Joseph, or he could be Belshazzar, where the writing's on the wall and time's up. But that could also remind me of Jacob Israel. But Jacob Israel could also be Stephen James behind a mask. And that's why one day I'll know the damn truth and I will be so at rest, because what am I doing? I'm trying to figure things out. I'm praying out loud so often that it's nauseating. But I do get the prayers answered though. That guy looked like he looked like Elon Musk. But I don't know. I mean, somebody's the Pharaoh, and it's probably Jonathan Kleck. And I think it's more along the lines of you. Because it seems like you're in control of the whole planet, like Satan is. And Satan would be the Pharaoh. In the Bible, it doesn't really mention who the Pharaoh actually is, the name, but I think that's my job. Because nothing's really mentioned in the Bible, but I think it's my job to mention the names of, even like the Amorite or whoever it was that Kim Jean was talking about, that was destroyed by a sword and a Bowie Merlin. Then I just tied that in. It's Jacob Israel, and I guess his ship has crashed, where Jacob Israel 71, and then Paul Begley was talking about the fragments of the ship that crashed as I was walking by my truck, and then it reminded me of Jacob Israel 71. And there you go. Because this ship crashed. Because in my view, that ship has sailed. Because you know, there's no need to be that way like that. But again, my dog could have been replaced with a clone, and he's fine, and he's just waiting for me to finish the race, and then I'll see him. Either way. But for the sake that didn't happen, and he died earlier, and then you got someone mentioning the name with a stiff neck, well, that ship has crashed because I shot it down with my laser eyes. Because there's still sin there that hasn't been repented. So second 9/11, Philadelphia. Liberty 1, Liberty 2. Starting out at 17th and JFK, third floor. They could be, what is it blamed on? I don't know. Airplanes could be. They could be saying it's some stars, asteroids falling from heaven, which would be better because then I really couldn't be blamed for it. And then it tops it all off with the William Penn building, being the William Pentagon building. William Penn is gone. To match with the Twin Towers, Liberty 1, Liberty 2, they are twin towers. It looks like a male and female system. And 17th JFK is where everybody's chasing the bank, chasing the money. And that's where the Wooders stood still. It rose up out of nowhere. So it only makes sense that it would start there at 5:55 a.m. Because it's on the back of a $50 bill. You fold it up, it's 5 and a 50 and a 5. And then that would be darkness from the 6th and 9th hour. And you can top it off at 8:48 a.m. So there you go. Or it's 4 and 1 hour, or it's darkness between the 6th and 9th hour. But it's 21 full days, full years. And then Christ returns, the second coming.